Hello sir, hello everyone. My name is Trivena Gracia sirait. My academic number is 2201030089. Today, I will explain the definition and main features of discourse analysis. So what is discourse analysis? Discourse analysis is the study of language beyond single sentences. When we speak or write, we do not use only one sentence. We connect ideas, thoughts, and intention through conversation, text, or stories. Discourse analysis helps us understand how the sentence work together to create meaning. For example, the sentence I love you is clear, but the sentence we need to talk has a deeper meaning depending on the situation. So discourse analysis helps us understanding the full message. Now let's look at the 5 definitions from experts. According to Harris, 1952, discourse analysis studies connected speech or writing that is longer than one sentence. The focus is on how sentences link together. Second, Deborah Serifans, 1994, explains that students should understand how different styles affect reading and writing. According to Brown and Yale, 1983, students should learn to compare and contrast types of discourse. According to James Paulson, 2011, says discourse analysis studies how language works in social context, focusing on language as social action, how we do things with words. And last, Michael Stubbs, 1983, focused on how larger texts are structured beyond single sentences. Next, let's move to the main features of discourse analysis. First, beyond sentence level. It analyzes more than one sentence and looks at how sentences connect to each other. Second, language in use. It studies real communication inside real-life situation, not just textbook grammar. Third, context dependent. The meaning of language depends on situation, people, and culture. The same word can have different meanings depending on who says it and when. Fourth, the functional approach. Discourse analysis focuses on what language does. For example, can you close the door? It's not really asking about the ability to requesting an action. Other important features include coherence and cohesion, which explains how texts are logically connected. Interactive nature, which shows communication involves both speaker and listener, and meaning making, where people create the interpret meaning together. Here's an example of why these features matter. If someone sends you a message, can we talk? The meaning depends on context. If it's your boss, it's meaning something formal. If it's your partners, it may be emotional. If it's a teacher, it's about study or performance. Context changes interpretation. And finally, the summary here shows that discourse analysis always involves real communication, understanding context, connecting sentences, and interpreting meaning together. And now let's talk about the importance of discourse analysis. Think about it, you might know all the grammar rules, but can you always communicate effectively? Not always, right? That's because real communication is more than just grammar. Discourse analysis teaches us the real rules of communications, how language works in context. For example, saying I want water grammatically is correct, but in a restaurant it's better to say, could I have some water please? Discourse analysis shows us how to be polite and appropriate. Next, first, discourse analysis is a key in language teaching. For teachers, it means teaching natural phrases like on my way instead of just full sentences. For students, it helps them to learn polite ways to speak, like do you have minutes when they need to interrupt. Then it's a vital for work and business. It helps us write clearer, polite emails, for instance by asking, could you please send the report when you have a moment instead of I want the report now. It makes meeting more productive. And next, in technology, discourse analysis helps AI understand indirect requests. When you say it's cold, a smart AI understands you want the heating adjust, even though you didn't ask directly. This makes technology feel more human. Finally, in everyday life, imagine your friends text, I'm tired. If you only reply, okay, rest then. The conversation might be awkward, but with discourse analysis, you understand the mind need to solve. So you ask, what happened? Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to talk about it? This shows empathy and good connection. In short, discourse analysis helps us understand the true meaning behind words, making us better communicators, professionals, and become good friends. And now, let's explore the differences between written and spoken discourse. First, written discourse is language in written form like emails, books, or articles. It's usually plain, organized, and carefully structured because the writer has time to think before sending it. Key features of written language are that it's formal, uses complete sentences, and the message is permanent. That means you can read it again later. Look at this example of a professional email. It is polite and follows a formal structure. On the other hand, spoken discourse is produced through speech, like during a phone call or conversation. It's spontaneous, fast, and heavily influenced by tone of voice and body language. Spoken language is often unplanned and includes short, incomplete sentences and feels like oral. It also requires an immediate response from the other persons, making it interactive. You can see this is the simple dialogue at restaurants, where the waiters and customer respond instantly. To summarize, the main difference is in planning. Written is planned, spoken is spontaneous. In style, written is formal, spoken is usually casual. And feedback, written is delight, spoken is immediate. Both forms are important, but they work very differently. That's all for written and spoken discourse. And now let's move to linguistic forms and function, and the difference between a sentence and an utterance. Discourse analysis studies language in context. We need to look at both the structure of language and its purpose simultaneously to truly understand communication. First, linguistic forms refers to the grammatical shapes of structure of language with focus on grammar rules, word choice, and sentence structure. For example, you should know has a structure of a modal verb plus imperative. The second, linguistic function explains the purpose or intention behind language. The function can be request, a command, a warning, or suggestion. For example, the sentence "you should go now" can function as either a warning or suggestions depending entirely on the context. This brings us to sentence versus utterance. A sentence is a complete grammatical unit independent of context. And utterance is spoken expression whose meaning depends on context, tone, and situation. Let's use an example. The sentence "Can you open the door?" has an interrogative form, a question, but its utterance function is usually not asking about ability, it's actually a request of action. Also, a single statement like "It's very noisy here" can have many possible functions, such as complaint, a request to lower the volumes, or a suggestion to move elsewhere. Context determines this true meaning. In conclusion, while sentence express forms, utterance express function, understanding discourse because analyze both and grammatical structure and purpose intended in specific contexts. And last, our final topic is about the key elements in communications: pragmatics and discourse context. Pragmatics studies how meaning is shaped by context, not just grammar. Without context, meaning is often incomplete. The purpose of understanding context is to interpret the speaker's true intention and avoid misunderstanding. The discourse context refers to how the surrounding text or conversation influences meaning. For example, if someone says "that's great" after hearing good news, it's positive. But if they say it's after hearing bad news, it usually means sarcasm. We can break context down into 4 types. The first is psychal, the second is linguistic, the third is social, and the fourth is cultural. Psychal context is where and when the communication happens, like talking in dark rooms. Linguistic context is the surrounding text or utterance. Social context involves the roles and relationships, for instance, a parent correcting a child. And cultural context includes shared values, like how eye contact is interpreted differently across culture. A deeper model is holiday context of situation, which use 3 elements: feels which is happening, general relations of participant, and mood, how the language is delivered, spoken or written. These 3 elements combine to shape the meaning. In summary, the context is crucial for interpreting the true meaning behind the words. We must consider the psychal, sociolinguistic, and cultural setting to communicate effectively. That's all my presentation about discourse analysis. Thank you.